Just a reminder, this is not financial advice. This is not legal advice. Do your own research. I'm never going to reach out to you either in the comment section or through any other means to try to get you to invest in something that I'm investing in or to send me crypto. Some links underneath the video are affiliate links. I may earn a commission, but this is at no extra cost to you. Of course, do your own due diligence. How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Bitcoin is falling down. We are right near bottom. So we actually set a lower low. We're right by like the bottom of where we've been for the last 6 months. Could break any moment, honestly, because we're flirting with it. I want to go through what you need to know right now, why this is happening, some interesting info on Bitcoin and MSTR and traditional markets as well. If you don't mind, hit subscribe so you can see future videos just like this. We're going to talk about why some people might say to hurry right now too. So stay through to the end of the video. You can put me at 1.25x speed, whatever you need to make it a little bit faster. If you want to join me on Telegram, we have over 2,000 people in it because, I've been banned on YouTube for a week in the past. I want to have some kind of audience somewhere else just in case this happens again. It's been happening to a lot of crypto people. So join me down there and check out BYDeFi. It's in the link tree. We're doing this trade to get up to $10,000 worth of Bitcoin event. It goes on for almost 2 more days. And we've done these in the past. We're going to do them hopefully every month. We've done 2 in the past already, giving away $40,000. And you get this just for trading on the platform. So you just do your normal trades. You're automatically participating if you've used my link. It automatically goes into your account at the end of it. So a nice way to get some extra Bitcoin. Now, Bitcoin is bouncing off of this level. The reason I say hurry, if you're a trader, this is really interesting because we are right at the bottom of where we were. Like, let me show you first of all this. Like, we had 10, 12 red candles in a row on the 15-minute, just escalating down. If we go to the 4-hour here, we broke slightly below where we were a few days ago when we went down to 98.8. We went down to 98,000 just a few minutes ago. This is almost to the dollar of where we were back in June. We have not been lower than this since May, coming out of the April lows. This is causing some people some concern. We're right at the 50-week moving average, which we'll look at that in a second too. We're bouncing up about $500 now. I'll kind of talk through at the end of the video what you need to know as a trader, what you need to know as a dollar cost average holder. But as you can see, we are just right on that 50-week SMA, which we've bounced off of 3-4 times throughout the bull market, and it's marked a bottom most of the time before a big move up. So kind of interesting there. Why is this happening? Well, it's not just Bitcoin, to be clear. The traditional markets are down too. The Nasdaq's down 2.4% today. Now, this is causing Bitcoin to go down a little bit faster because of liquidations, right? There are more liquidations that happen within crypto than traditional markets. So right now we have $577 million worth of longs liquidated and $125 million of shorts. This comes right after the president signed the U.S. government shutdown bill, the bill to end the government shutdown. So a lot of people were thinking, this might be a good thing. And in my video earlier today, I went through why this maybe is concerning some people, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But this is the end of the government shutdown. But now we start to get economic data, right? Amit does a pretty good job of explaining why people might be a little bit concerned today or why the markets are down. The market wanted CPI today, but the White House said that they're not going to give it. Maybe they'll never give it. Verizon just announced 15,000 layoffs or 15% of their workforce. So markets seem to be thinking that they cannot ignore labor markets even without data. And 3 different Fed presidents all came out over the last 48 hours and say they're more concerned about inflation. Powell a few weeks ago made it clear he cares more about the downside risk to the labor market. So now the sudden shift is making people think that maybe a December cut won't happen, that they're trying to signal that we're not going to see a cut. It's funny though, because a lot of people are panicking, and Elio Trades says all markets are in a nosedive right now, not just crypto. Trump team needs to save the market or it's a blue sweep in 26. Time is ticking. I am betting on a biblical print. I think they're going to print a lot of money too, but it's interesting because so many people are saying that, like, oh no, all markets are in turmoil because, the NASDAQ is down a decent amount today, 2.4%. That's a really bad day for the NASDAQ. But you zoom out and like VOO, the S&P 500, even with today, even being down today, we're down 2.3% from all-time highs. Even QQQ, right? The NASDAQ essentially, from its all-time high, it's down 4.4%. So there's a lot of fear in the market. There's uncertainty, but we're near all-time highs. So anyone saying that like traditional markets are in a panic, they're not, right? If you go year to date, how can you be in a panic when you're up 20%? Over last year, you're up 19%. Over the last 5 years, we're just up 110%. So yeah, the traditional markets are not in a panic at all. There are some people profit taking, being a little bit concerned about AI spend, profitability of AI spend, what's going to happen in the future with rate cuts and CPI and that kind of stuff. But we're going to start getting that data, and then the market can process it. Now, one company that's so tied to Bitcoin, and we'll get back to Bitcoin here in a second, but that's so tied to Bitcoin is MSTR. And Fred Krueger says the value of MSTR is less than the value of the Bitcoin they hold. Now, MSTR is down 6% today. Over the last 5 days, down about the same. 1 month, it's down 33%. Year to date, down 30%. From the peak, what was the peak? $473. It's down 56%. And Bitcoin's up over that period, to be clear, too. A lot of people looking at MSTR are super disappointed right now. Actually, MSTR's website, when I looked earlier, wasn't even working, which is kind of funny. It wouldn't pull up, but the MNAV is very low right now compared to what it is typically. The NAV premium on just the shares now is about 0.96. Now, with diluted shares, it's 1.07. So basically, you're paying for MSTR with what it's worth. Or you put in $100,000, you're basically getting $100,000 of Bitcoin. This has come way down. There was a time where it was over 2. I didn't love it when MSTR, they announced that they weren't going to sell anything if it was below like 1.4, 1.6 premium. I think basically over 1.2x, they should be selling shares and buying more Bitcoin. But it is interesting. Some people are getting really bearish on MSTR now, saying that really it should be worth less. And I understand the thinking that, pure form is better in a lot of people's minds. And, MSTR has to pay people a salary. So it's just like it's dragging down on what they hold. On the other hand, there are some institutions that can't buy Bitcoin, but they can buy MSTR. So that's their vehicle. So that's why there is a premium. That's why there was a premium on like GBTC way back in the day. Also, MSTR can find interesting ways of accumulating more Bitcoin that might be cheaper than you buying Bitcoin. So I don't have strong feelings on MSTR right now. I'm not pounding the table that's a buy, but if it gets lower, if it takes more hits, let's say Bitcoin's down another 10% and MSTR falls down 30% or 25% or something like that. MSTR gets more interesting to me when it is discounted from its real value of Bitcoin. Now, there's a little bit more risk as it goes down too. It's not like you just get free upside, right? There's some risk in buying a strategy company like this, but there's also some different things that they can do, some things that they can do to actually make cash flow. So it gets more interesting as a trade to me as we fall down further. Some people point out that the sovereign put, I think this is a Tom Lee saying, the MSTR sovereign put, basically saying that if a large government wants to accumulate Bitcoin, it might be just smarter for them to buy MicroStrategy. Like if they could come in, and it would have to get approved, I'm sure. But let's say the US wanted a strategic reserve of Bitcoin, and they didn't want to go out and buy 400,000 or 600,000 Bitcoin because that would shoot up the price significantly, and it would be really hard to accumulate. They might come over to MSTR and say, hey, we'll pay you 3x or 2x what your company is worth, and we want to buy it so that we can hold all the Bitcoin. This is kind of an interesting side of buying strategy. Is, it would be much easier for someone to come in and buy MSTR for, and actually I don't think this market cap isn't right. But it would be much easier for them to come in and buy MSTR at whatever price it is. I think it's like closer to $70 billion. I don't think this isn't correct for the market cap, but it'd be much easier for them to come in and buy that way than just buy 700,000 Bitcoin. Now, moving back, and you can see like there are central banks buying Bitcoin, but they're buying in smaller amounts. Moving back to Bitcoin, I say hurry, right? Maybe it's in the title, maybe it's in the description or in the thumbnail. This is a really interesting opportunity if you're a trader. Now, I love longing the market when we're already on a big pullback and we're at significant support. There's obviously weakness in the market, right? There's a weakness and people are scared and all that kind of stuff, but this seems like a pretty good risk to reward ratio for me right now. We're right at significant support. Bitcoin's down 25%. Of course, if we go into another bear market, you're going to lose on the trade. But if we just bounce, or if we go in, we get bullish again into year end, I think this trade would do really well, especially if you're not going 100x leverage, 50x leverage. I would never suggest that. But, 5x leverage, 3x leverage. This is a good buying in point. I don't know how you get much better than this. Now, there are a couple CME gaps that are below where we're at right now. So I understand some people wanting to wait. There's a CME gap at 97,000 and 92,000. These typically get filled on Bitcoin. So if we fall down further, it's going to cause panic. I would not be surprised if we fell down further short term. This would cause panic. This would cause a lot of people to say, no, we're full on bear market. If we went down to 92, I think the smart people would be longing the market at that point too, because they realize that the CME gaps have been here for a long time. They finally got filled, and we can go full on bull mode once again. You look at the whole market though, it's come down a lot. There are a lot of cryptocurrencies that will probably do well moving forward if you don't think we're going into a bear market. Now, if you're just dollar cost averaging, if you're someone that holds a position but doesn't trade, I don't think you have to hurry. Like, you don't have to make any rash decisions here at $99,000 Bitcoin. What I've done recently, I've added to some of my long positions to insulate them from further drops, and I've also dollar cost averaged. I have dollar cost averaged into Bitcoin. I do this every month with a portion of my income. Is it a large amount? No, but will it be nice if we go back into bull mode? And does it also get me back on the buying mentality like I just dollar cost average? Yes. It's nice not to have to try to time the market with your long-term portfolio, which is something that I'm not doing, right? I don't want to do that. With some of my altcoins, I will most likely sell them. If we're still in a bull market, I'll sell them. Otherwise, I'll just hold on to them, I suppose, because over 90% of my portfolio is Bitcoin ETFs. But I do use a small fraction of my portfolio for altcoins, then also to leverage trade. I really like that because we've been able to make life-changing amounts of money this bull run. We've taken profits. I still have some levered positions that are up right now that I still have going right now. Most of them are in the profit still, but BY DeFi is my newest platform. I really like the platform a lot, and a lot of those positions are down because we've opened them, over the last 6 months or so. That means that if the whole market's down and I have trades that are open and they're longs, they're going to be down right now. Now, this trade at the top, it shows down pretty significantly, like 83%, that's rough. But this was from a trade that I had been up over 100% in, and I just rolled all the profits into a new long position at a lower leverage. So while we're down 82%, I still have my liquidation point under 90,000. So I still have a lot of cushion if we fall down a little bit further, and I'll most likely add a little bit more margin just to lower the liquidation price if the general markets stay, pretty high. Now, if we take a 15-20% dip in the NASDAQ, Bitcoin could come down further, to be clear. But I think that we're going to do pretty well here over the next 6 months or a year. So I am keeping a lot of these leverage positions open. And of course, I could be wrong, but we've already secured long-term profits throughout the bull run with our levered positions. So I'm coming at this from a position of strength. I'm not trying to, revenge trade. I'm not panicked. I'm not losing any sleep over these trades. Right? They're just extra cream on top if they go the right way, which I think they will long term. But of course, if I do get liquidated, I'll probably be opening new positions because at $90,000 Bitcoin, we're down 35% from the highs. We've filled a lot of CME gaps. We're very close to the support at 74,000. So I would be most likely adding to some positions there at 90,000. Let me know your thoughts though underneath the video. I really do appreciate it. Again, if you want to trade, you can check out BYDeFi underneath the video. We're at an interesting point. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comment section. See you soon. Bye.